at home, I don't eat breakfast, and I get hungry.
It makes me feel happy because we can eat at school if you don't get to eat at home. I like that we get a variety of cereal and we get juice. It makes me feel happy because I have a really good breakfast because it's healthy.
I don't really eat breakfast at school that much. I do it like once in a while, like when we have peaches. I like having the fruit. Fruit is delicious.
And it tastes really good, and I can enjoy it with everyone at school.
Maine has the third highest rate of hunger in the United States. That means that there are a lot of kids in Maine schools who are food insecure. Because Maine is a pretty rural state, there are a lot of kids who have extremely long bus routes, sometimes an hour long. So even if they do eat breakfast at home, by the time they get to school, they're already hungry, and then they have to wait 3 hours for lunchtime, and then it's kind of difficult to learn when your belly's rumbling and you're not able to concentrate.
We all know that breakfast is the most important meal amongst all kinds of things you need to do around nutrition. Nutrition is so important, and breakfast, you start off your day with breakfast. And so what I found visiting schools is that so many of the children coming into their classrooms are hungry. They're hungry from the start, and it just creates major problems, not only for that child, but also for the entire class.
You know, by 9:30, 10 o'clock, kids were complaining that they were hungry. When kids, get doing their work and they're hungry, they lose that focus. They're not able to do their work as well. And I think that helps take away some mild behaviors because they've got full stomachs. They're ready to go.
One thing that a lot of administrators want to do is they want to increase their test scores. So to increase test scores, they want to make sure the kids eat good, which is kind of interesting because you should be eating good while they're learning, not just while they're testing.
A hungry child cannot learn. They might not come to school. They have attendance issues. There's behavior issues. There's lots of research showing that kids who eat school breakfast and lunch have improved test scores and do better academically. They can't be focused on school if they're hungry, so we're giving them their opportunity to succeed in this world.
There are 3 different types of alternative breakfast models that we like to focus on. Breakfast in the classroom is second chance breakfast, and then the breakfast cart. And in addition to that, many teachers have found that especially eating breakfast in the classroom kind of creates this sense of community.
So our numbers in here were very low. 15 to 20 kids, and we've got about 170, 180 kids. How can we logistically work it into the morning without wasting a whole lot of instructional time? We were able to do that.
And there are less belly aches, less nurse visits in the morning, less discipline issues going to the office because everybody's kind of happy they've eaten. If you have a CEP school, or if you feed kids for free for whatever reason, breakfast in the classroom is such a win-win situation.
We increased our participation in our schools by more than 75% in a week. It's there for them, it's easy. So for those kids that are traveling up to 60 minutes to school in the morning, breakfast is there.
Staff, for the most part, really enjoy the fact that there is food available to all of their students. There is work on their part, but for the most part, it's very positive. Family and community really think that the breakfast model is a win for children and families. It allows us to focus on feeding children, not collecting money.
Is just getting different groups of people involved, having that discussion, and then saying, we'll do a pilot. It's not forever, but why not? So we had a committee that talked about how to go the first month, how to go the second month. And so by the 1st of March, it's like, we should have done this a year ago.
For the same time period, 26 days for August and September, I took in $7,200 more in federal and state subsidy than I did the same time last year. So that increase in kids is absolutely wonderful. These are the most kids, economically disadvantaged kids, so it just feels wonderful just to feed them. It's just fantastic. I can't say that enough.
It's worked really well here. It's made my life a lot easier to put to have the students in the classroom instead of having them piling into the cafeteria and having no control whatsoever. And we've increased our numbers by double. So I think that probably speaks for itself.
Expanding the breakfast model really does take a lot of work, and it takes reaching out to people and leaders within the buildings. You can't just, march in and expect people to get on board, and always included the custodian. If you leave the custodian out, it could be doomed for failure.
This really has to be a cooperative team approach. We need administrators, teachers, custodians to be all on the same page.
With the increase, our staffing didn't really increase. The staff, as much as they thought they'd have more to do, they're happy because the kids are eating. The food is as important as the lights, as the toilet paper, as the desks that the children are sitting in, and it should just be part of the public education.
So it goes both ways. We don't have all the ideas. Every situation is unique. Start small. When you feed one kid, that's a step. If one goes to two.
Breakfast expansion really needs a champion or a group of champions, not just the school nutrition director, but a community of people, like-minded people that are willing to do that groundwork. It always takes a little tending. It's like a garden. You just can't let it go.
But ultimately, whatever decisions are made need to be made with students. What's right and what's best for students in mind needs to be the bottom line of any decisions that are made.
I hope that we can continue this trend in our school district, but baby steps, one school at a time. That's how we started, was with one school, and that's how we're going to continue, one school at a time.
My hope is that someday we can expand it to our middle level and our high school especially. It's just been wonderful. I can't say enough how good it is to finally just feed kids.
There are a lot of things when government is a partner with our communities, with our local education systems, we can do a lot together, and there's a lot to do over the next couple of years. So we don't want school food directors chasing parents for 40 cents per meal. What we want school food directors to be doing is creating nutritious meals, having connections with their students, and making sure every child has nutritious food.
Kids who are fed well can perform better in the classroom, they can perform better in the athletic fields, they perform better on the stage. Everything says that, goes back to how important it is to make sure that kids have the fuel they need to be able to be productive.
We're hoping to get more schools to flip their models because the benefits are there. The numbers show that with an alternative breakfast model, more children are fed, more children are able to succeed. Children are the future, and we need to support them so that way they can support Maine in the years to come.